The America's Cup is back in court after 11th hour negotiations between holders Alinghi and Oracle fell over. The American syndicate says Alinghi chose an illegitimate yacht club to help set new rules for the next Cup. Rules tilted too heavily in the defenders' favour. Now the lawyers are sorting out the scrap that threatens the next regatta. Yachting correspondent Martin Tasker joins us from the Auckland Viaduct.
Thanks, Jenny May. Well, Alinghi and Oracle clearly very much at loggerheads. Oracle, through the Golden Gate Yacht Club, are insisting that by allowing this newly formed yacht club in Valencia to be the challenger of record, that the Swiss are in effect cheating. Strong words, always have been in the America's Cup, and all this smacks a little bit of Sir Michael Fay's challenge with the big boat through the Mercury Bay Boating Club 20 years ago, as Tim Wilson reports from the New York Supreme Court.
That this has got to be a fair protocol. This has got to be a protocol that you just don't steal the America's Cup.
The New York Supreme Court trusts God, but feuding America's Cup syndicates once again put their trust in lawyers.
Golden Gate is arguing that CNAV, the challenger of record, is not a legitimate challenger.
It was Golden Gate Yacht Club, loosely known as Oracle, in the grey suit, and the Swiss winners, or Alinghi, represented by the dark blue. They came out fighting.
Your Honor, the main dispute is that they insist on being the challenger of record for the second time. They want to repeat that again because they want to try to, make the rules of the race the way they want them.
Judge Herman Kahn heard arguments and reserved his decision.
We'll notify you when we speak.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Here at the New York Supreme Court, Judge Kahn is now making his mind up, and he'll be referring to a landmark decision favouring a small yacht club on the other side of the world.
This judge will look very closely to Mercury Bay because he knows if he steps outside of Mercury Bay, it's not going to be affirmed on appeal.
Meanwhile, both sides seem incapable of reaching a settlement out of court, despite what they say.
We've said that since day one. Let's try to negotiate a settlement. As you know, we're still trying to negotiate a settlement.
The table is groaning on concessions from the defender. And so we're waiting really for Golden Gate to show some good faith.
The judge's decision must be made within 60 days. Many expect he'll decide much more quickly, but it's uncertain that'll end the land-based battle to race on the water. Tim Wilson, One News, New York.
So Martin, just explain the relevance of Mercury Bay.
Okay, a little bit of history. When Michael Fay challenged for the America's Cup, he did it through the deed of gift with the big boat. We know what happened. Dennis Conner came in with Stars and Stripes, the catamaran, the cat against the dog, and he won. But in court, it was Michael Fay who won early on. And this is what the judge said then in backing his decision. He says, for the court to decide otherwise would be to allow the holder of the America's Cup to virtually unilaterally dictate the conditions of future competitions. That result is unjustifiable in view of the workable deed, and it clearly violates the donor's intent. And that really smacks a little bit now again of what Oracle are saying. But the point is that that was 20 years ago. Now it took 3 years for them to get through that court case, and that's not what they want to happen this time.
So finally, Martin, despite it being Switzerland versus America in the courtroom, there's still a huge Kiwi connection.
Well, there is, and it's pretty intriguing, isn't it? Two billionaires, they've both got Kiwi skippers. Brad Butterworth with Ernesto Bertarelli at Alinghi, and Russell Coutts with Larry Ellison, of course, for Oracle. And wouldn't you just love to eavesdrop on a few of those phone conversations at the moment?
Thanks, Martin Tasker, live from the Auckland Viaduct Harbour.